something just happened that 74% of XRP holders predicted, and what I'm about to show you could change everything. We're talking about a development so massive that it sent transaction volume exploding to 1.6 million in just 24 hours. But here's the thing that has me losing sleep. This might only be the beginning, and I'll tell you exactly why in just a moment. What's up, Gold Rush family? I'm your host, Gold Rush, and welcome back to Gold Rush Crypto Daily, where we dig deep into the stories that actually move markets. Today, we're covering two absolutely explosive developments in the XRP ecosystem that have me genuinely excited about what's coming next. We're talking legal victory laps, massive transaction spikes, and price action that's got technical analysts reaching for their calculators. If you're holding XRP or thinking about it, this video is pure gold. So smash that like button right now, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive into some serious alpha. Let's start with this fascinating article from Times Tabloid that just dropped, and folks, this one's got me fired up. As you can see in this article, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse just gave the XRP community the ultimate "I told you so" moment. According to this piece, 74% of over 5,000 respondents in a digital assets daily poll correctly predicted that Ripple would end their case with the SEC rather than continue fighting. And guess what? They were absolutely right. Now, here's where this gets really interesting, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for what I discovered in the second article because it's going to blow your mind. On June 26th, Judge Annalisa Torres rejected a joint motion from both Ripple and the SEC to settle with a reduced $50 million penalty. The court basically said nope and kept the original $125 million penalty intact. And you know what I love about this? The XRP community saw this coming from a mile away. While everyone else was speculating and wringing their hands, XRP holders were calmly saying, yeah, Ripple's just going to end this thing and move on. That's the kind of conviction you want to see in a community. Garlinghouse himself confirmed on X that they're dropping the appeal entirely. 4.5 years of legal drama, and it's finally over. The judge made it clear that even when both parties wanted to settle, the court wasn't budging on that injunction without exceptional circumstances. Here's my take on this, and this is where I get excited. This is actually bullish as hell for XRP. Why? Because now Ripple can stop spending millions on lawyers and start spending that money on what they do best, building the internet of value. The uncertainty is gone. The legal overhang that's been suppressing institutional adoption? Gone. Think about it this way. If you're a bank or a financial institution, would you rather partner with a company that's in the middle of a lawsuit with the SEC or one that's already settled and is moving forward? The answer is obvious, but wait until you see what's happening with the price action right now, because what I'm about to show you from this second article could be the smoking gun that confirms XRP is about to make a major move. And speaking of moving forward, let's talk about what's happening with XRP's price action right now, because this second article from U.Today has some absolutely mind-blowing data that could predict where XRP is heading next. As you can see in this analysis, XRP just processed 1.6 million transactions in 24 hours. Let me repeat that, 1.6 million transactions in a single day. After weeks of relatively quiet activity, this is like watching a sleeping giant wake up. But here's what most people are missing about this number, and it's going to shock you. The price action is telling an equally compelling story. XRP is currently consolidating around $2.19 after climbing from that crucial $2.10 support zone that's been holding since April. And here's the kicker, it just broke above the 200 EMA, which is a big deal technically. Now, I'm looking at this chart, and what I'm seeing is XRP knocking on the door of some serious resistance. The 50 and 100 EMAs are forming what the article calls a tight resistance band at $2.25. But here's why I'm not worried about that resistance, and this is where it gets really interesting. Volume is picking up, and more importantly, that on-chain activity is absolutely exploding. The RSI has moved above 50, which signals that momentum is shifting from neutral to bullish. Now, I'll be honest with you, we need to see this sustained. One day of high activity doesn't make a trend, but when you combine it with the legal clarity we just got, well, let me tell you what I think is really happening here, and why $2.50 might just be the beginning. According to this U.Today analysis, for XRP to hit that $2.50 target, it needs to break through the 225 to 230 resistance zone and hold above it. Then it's got to reclaim that $2.40 level that was giving it trouble back in May. Here's my honest assessment, and remember, This is not financial advice, but I think we're looking at a legitimate setup here. The legal FUD is gone, on-chain activity is spiking, and the technical picture is improving. That 225 to 230 zone is going to be the battleground, but if XRP can power through with conviction, 250 starts looking very realistic. But here's what really gets me excited about this timing, and this is something I haven't told you yet that could change everything. What really gets me fired up is that we've got Bitcoin consolidating, Ethereum doing its thing, and now XRP is starting to show independent strength. When altcoins start decoupling and showing their own momentum, that's when things get really interesting. But there's something else happening behind the scenes that most people aren't talking about. And let's not forget the broader context here. Ripple isn't just sitting around celebrating their legal victory. They're actively building partnerships, expanding their payment corridors, and pushing forward with their vision of an internet of value. That 1.6 million transaction spike? That's not just speculation. That's actual utility happening in real time. If you're already holding XRP, this has got to feel pretty good right now. The community called it perfectly. The legal uncertainty is behind us, and the network is showing signs of serious activity. But if you're not in XRP yet, you might want to start paying attention to that 225 resistance level. Now, before we wrap this up, make sure you're subscribed to Gold Rush Crypto Daily if you want more analysis like this. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these market-moving developments. And if this analysis helped you understand what's happening with XRP, show some love with a like. It really helps the channel grow. I want to hear from you in the comments too. Are you bullish on XRP's chances of hitting 250? Do you think that legal victory is going to unlock institutional adoption? Drop your thoughts below because I read every single comment. The bottom line here is this. XRP just removed a massive roadblock. The network is showing explosive activity, and the price is testing key resistance levels. Whether this turns into a sustained rally depends on follow-through, but all the pieces are lining up for something significant. The XRP community proved they know their asset better than anyone, and now we get to see if that conviction pays off in a big way. That 225 to 230 zone is going to tell us everything we need to know about XRP's next move. Remember, folks, always do your own research. Never invest more than you can afford to lose, and this is definitely not financial advice. I'm just sharing my analysis and reactions to these developments. Thanks for watching Gold Rush Crypto Daily, and I'll see you in the next one where we'll be tracking whether XRP can break through that resistance and start its march toward 250. Until then, keep stacking and stay golden. Disclaimer: this content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always conduct your own research and consult with qualified financial professionals before making investment decisions.